Welcome back to the Football Tragics. I'm your host, Aaron. Got Tony here with us today, Campo and Morty. How are we doing, lads?
Good, mate.
Campo looks happy. I'm a bit concerned. I'm not usually that happy after a loss, but he's looking quite happy today.
You look happier than your manager. He looks disappointed in the new one they got. He was not happy with his squad.
Would you?
Look, Tony, we do need your thoughts on the game, but before that, we're just going to pop into a little thing here that you've decided you want to do. TFT around the grounds, just covering a little bit of the Champions League. Obviously, first day of it today, before tomorrow's. Couple English teams in it. Chelsea getting a 1-0 win. Your boys United. What were your thoughts on that game, real quick, Tony? 2-2 draw.
If you offer me a 2-2 draw or a draw away from home in the Champions League to any Italian side, I'm probably going to take it. Even under Sir Alex, that was his fin. If you can go to Italy and come back with a point, your job's done. So, Sir Alex, I'll stick with you for now. We'll take that point and we'll come back home against young boys in the next league, in the next game.
So you can accept a draw there. You didn't really go there expecting 3 points.
Oh, you always expect to get 3 points, but you take a draw. If you're playing away, we've seen how tough some teams go. We've seen bigger names and bigger teams of how they're playing at the moment go to an away ground and lose. So, Atalanta are fifth.
Is it the fact that it took a goal in the first half stoppage time, then a goal in the second half stoppage time to rescue a point here? Rather, if you were up 2-1, say, and then finished 2-2.
Yeah, obviously you take that into account. You take into account the downs, the highs, but a goal in the 95th minute, like you said, or 93rd minute, it's a big lift moving into what we'll talk to later, into that Champions League round of 16, if we do end up getting there, and also moving into the Manchester derby.
Well, look, Morty's looking a bit. He's a bit arrogant there. Liverpool's playing.
This is the last time Atlanta played an English club. It was Liverpool. We beat them 5-0, but apparently a draw is acceptable.
No, actually, the last time they played an English club, we beat them 3-2 in the 92nd minute. But thanks for that input.
I wouldn't really call them an English club these days.
Well, as I said, Liverpool's playing in the morning against Atletico Madrid. So we don't know what the score is yet. Are you optimistic there at home, Morty? It should be a comfortable win. Last time they went to England, know what happened.
Yeah, we all know what happened then. They played their crubs. But there's no Griezmann. There's no one to save them again. So I'll be pretty much. I think Liverpool will go there just trying to avoid some injuries. We can't lose out of the spot. So I expect a fairly weakened squad, to be honest.
And Campo, who are you guys playing in? Whereabouts in the world are you guys playing?
Are you even top yet?
Mate, they're not even qualifying. They're coming third at the moment.
But Conte's first game, what an easy start though. Come on.
Yeah,
what if he loses?
Against Vitesse?
Vitesse.
If I'm Conte, I'm staying home and I'm sending the assistant to take care of that game. I'm getting ready for the
I'm not
game.
prepared for this. That's all he has to say.
Elsewhere, look, Barcelona, they actually got a win. About time, really. That's still not in great nick. I don't think they've got a decent group there.
They still don't have a manager. I heard they played 3 teenagers this morning, so obviously
interim manager.
They did get the win. So I think if they win their next game, they're through to the round of 16. So
is Bayern Munich the best team in the world? Like this season, do you think? Given the way they just moved teams in the Champions League.
But I watched them the other week in the Champions League, and they looked pretty flat for 70 minutes. It was only bring on some fresh players. Like they've got the depth there, so they bring on Gnabry and they bring on someone else, and then all of a sudden it was 5-0. But if you watch the game, they weren't looking like they were anything. They've also been trounced 5-0 after that by Mönchengladbach, I think it was.
I'm going to give your two boys a massive rap. I think both Chelsea and Liverpool are ahead of Bayern Munich. I don't think Bayern Munich is in that top 2 teams in the world. I think Chelsea's defense, countered with the attack they've got, and Liverpool as a whole, how they've been the last couple of years, that's my top 2 teams.
Well, you'd have to say that we have a tougher just season in general. The Premier League's going to be tougher than the Bundesliga for the most part. So I think Bayern, they do put on these big performances in the Champions League, and then you know what they do in Bundesliga, they run away with it every year. Back on Ronaldo, I just want to say, is he the Champions League GOAT? He has to be.
Mr. Champions League himself.
Mr. Champions League. He's unbelievable. But I want to go back to Bayern real quick and speak about the Ballon d'Or. Is Lewandowski a shoe-in for the Ballon d'Or? We've seen the Jorginho claims. I'm personally, I'd love to see it happen, but let's be honest, he probably doesn't deserve it. Lewandowski deserves it this year, does he not? After being robbed last year, Tony, what do you reckon?
I'd be sitting with you celebrating if Jorginho was to lift it. However, I do think, especially in the league form, he had a lot of help in that midfield. Obviously, Kante sitting at that CDM, he'd probably make Fred look good to an extent. So we can't read too much into that Champions League win. Again, Euros, he was brilliant, but you look at the likes of Chiesa, he was brilliant. So it wasn't that he did something amazing. And you look at Lewandowski and mate, the man just consistently bends in goals. The fact that he doesn't have a Ballon d'Or already is ridiculous. There's going to be those arguments for Messi. He won his first international trophy, but for me, it's an absolute rort if Lewandowski doesn't bring this home.
Yeah, what do you reckon? I know you probably think it's Salah.
If you say Salah, I'm going to slap you. Honestly,
I'm not. I wouldn't make that claim.
I can tell you what I think should happen, but I'll tell you what will happen. Salah's going to be third, Lewandowski second, and Messi will get it. There is no way they're not going to give it to Messi after winning the Copa America. It's just written for him now.
Well, there was leaked pictures of we don't know how true it was, but I think who was it that said in the group chat that Lewandowski got the top spot pretty comfortably. But again, that was literally a piece of paper. It could have been someone could just type that up. So
we also heard that the day they usually do the photos 1 month out, Messi conveniently missed PSG's training with a bug. So
there we go.
You read as much of that into your will, but yeah.
When is it announced anyway? Is it January or is it earlier than that?
Oh, I mean, after Ronaldo goes and scores 5 against Man City this weekend, you might as well just...
He wants it. Give it to him. I think if Salah keeps it up this season, his next season's shoe-in.
Yeah,
agreed. Has to be. I just want to speak quickly on Christian Eriksen and Sergio Agüero. Eriksen obviously being told he can't play in Serie A. Tony, you know a bit more about that than me. What are your thoughts on that? Like, is it time to retire? He's not old, but with this whole heart condition thing, like, is it time that he hangs to the boots, or can he go elsewhere and continue playing?
I mean, it's one of those things where you look towards your future. Obviously, Eriksen is quite young compared to some people out there. So I think Serie A has made the great decision here. They've said, you've had this heart condition, you've collapsed on the pitch, you've had to be brought back to life. Like, we don't want to deal with that. It's been a rule they've had for years, and I'm really glad that they stood their ground and didn't give him that exemption. I think for Eriksen, if he's looking towards his future, he's got the money. He'll probably get a job with his international team doing something, whether that's commentary. Who knows? Inter might give him a job, but I think for him, it's time to hang up the boots.
But in saying that, Dali Blind also plays with the same respirator or whatever it is with his heart. So if he can do it, can Eriksen do it?
Eriksen he can do it, but he was brought back to life. Like, it's like for 30, 40 seconds there at the Euros, we thought he was dead.
I think at the end of the day, you got to value your health over your football career. He's had a decent enough career, you'd say. He's got enough money saved up, and like you said, there's always going to be a job lined up for him in football. So you'd probably like to see him retire on, go out this way. I suppose is a bit harsh, but yeah. What are your boys' thoughts, Audie and Campo, and Agüero's sudden heart issues? Well,
he's getting on a bit. Is he 34?
3 months now. Hasn't been an ideal start to his Barcelona career.
Yeah, 33 years. Obviously, boys, he had his calf injury, and now he's just been ruled out for 3 months while they do the testing. So that takes you past the halfway mark, and you've only got a couple months left. So, what do you think?
I think they should come to an agreement. I think, honestly, maybe he should be looking to leave Barca, go back to the family for the next few months, pick up a contract somewhere else, because even at this point now, you look after this contract and you go, well, I know he's one of the greatest in the Premier League, but with that condition going forward at his age, he probably should be looking to tone it down a bit. Maybe an easier league, maybe something like that, but definitely probably not into the rigidity of that. So.
Yeah, probably on the same train there.
I think they should just both come to the A-League, to be honest with you.
Bring it on.
Easier league, not as fast-paced. They can dictate the games, What more could you want? And it'll bring a lot of fans to games.
Like a big D-Studge.
Campo, we've got a problem there. You're talking a lot of sense, and we don't have much of that in the A-League at the moment. So let's give it a couple of years, all right?
Actually, we've had some advertisement, all right? I'll give them that. They've had some signs on the bus.
All right, let's get into the English Premier League now. 10 minutes in. Hopefully nobody's clicked off just yet. Here's the game. Southampton Villa. It's got the massive Manchester derby there. United vs City. Chelsea Burnley. Palace Wolves. Brentford Norwich. Brighton Newcastle. Everton Spurs. That's Conte's first job in the Prem. Leeds vs Leicester. Arsenal Watford. And we finish with that West Ham Liverpool, which I think will be an absolute cracker. All right, Southampton Villa. Campo, you finally gave Southampton some credit. Tony, you missed out on that. So make sure if you haven't seen it yourself, go back and watch it because it's a laugh.
I've had that on repeat. I've had it on repeat. Don't worry.
So, Campo, you get to do the honours and start us off this week. Are you going to back him again?
This might blow your mind. Last week, I didn't back him. This week, I'm backing him. I'm going a 2-0 Southampton. Villa are stinky and... Villa are in a rut at the moment, and I think I'm being, generous, giving them 2 goals because I don't think they've scored 2 goals this season. But I'll back him in here.
All right, Tony, same. You still on the hot train?
Oh, you know what? I think last week was the first week I haven't backed them in a very long time and ended up pulling out a result. I did look at these games earlier, and I have put down a 2-2 draw. Hopefully that's a jinx that does give Southampton the win, but I've gone 2-2 draw.
Morty?
I'm going to throw a spanner in the works. I think Villa might get up here. I think with I think Konza was the one sent off. I think it probably might be the shake-up they need at the back. They'll focus on their defence this game, and they might be able to scrap some goals in with Southampton pressure. They put the pressure that Southampton put on. Jag an easy goal. Maybe finish 2-1 or 1-0, I think. I think it'd be close.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think they do need that defensive shake-up. I don't think Cons has been their worst. I think Tyrone Mings has had a very poor year himself, but it might change this week. And we know Southampton, they had a shocking time in front of goal last game. Yes, they won, but they should have comfortably won. So I've gone with a 1-1 draw. I think both teams would just value a point here. It's not the worst result for either team, I suppose, but... They probably will both go for it, though, considering they're both sitting right around each other on the table. So a win, is massive. But, yeah, all right. The United City, the Manchester derby, Tony, you're going to kick us off for this one. Are you confident or are you scared given that City's coming off a loss? I know Campo loves saying that one. So what are your thoughts?
Obviously, start off the bat, I'll never go against United, so we know which way I'm going to be leaning towards the end of this prediction. Obviously, waiting for the results and what happened to Varane this morning. Obviously, he was pulled off with an injury in the Champions League game. So I think we've looked better. I mean, it was against Spurs, but we did look better with 3 at the back. We tried that this morning. Obviously, Varane went off, shook things up. We ended up getting the points. So who knows what we go with. I'd love to see him go with that 3-man at the back with Luke Shaw moving into centre back with Tellez out on the left. But again, who knows? Purely because this is a game we always get up to. We're at home. It's going to be pumping. I'm going to go United 2-1. But honestly, for me, I'll say this now. There won't be a post-game review because I'm going to be in the city watching the game with the rest of the boys from the United group. So we're either going to have a lot of laughs after the game or there's going to be a lot of tears. But either way, I'm going 2-1 United.
Look, I usually go with United in derby matches. I usually go with them against Liverpool and even with City, but I've gone with City this time. I just think City are coming off that loss. I'm going to get in that Campo in there where they are scary off a loss. Ole has showed nothing to warrant that United should win this game. I think
his job's on the line. His job's on the line, so he has showed in the past.
But I think time has passed now. I think he does need the sack. And look, we do need your thoughts there, Tony, on the sacking, and given that Conte is now unavailable. But yeah, that's where I see it. I've gone with the 2-1 City. I think they're gonna get their little hiccup back behind them, and then United's going to probably sack Ole after this game. What do you reckon, Morty?
Strangely enough, I think United pull this off.
We always lose when you're on our side.
So either way, I'm a happy man. But I don't know. I don't know what it is, but it kind of just happens for United against City. That it was always close, no matter who. And I mean, they've got Ronaldo this time, and we've seen already he's saved them twice. And really, I mean, they'll be without Laporte. They'll be throwing a new centre back in. Ronaldo probably having the time of his life, really, because City have only really played Ake. Stones hasn't played much football this season already, and Ake, if they put Ake in, then I would honestly be putting up 4-0.
We have Maguire. Just remember that when you say nil, we have Maguire in the back line.
Yeah, but of all the teams, Maguire can probably help when he's only coming up against Foden. Like they'll let the crosses come in, and Maguire's only decent thing is the fact he's got a slab head and he can batter it away. So it'll be interesting, but I think it probably the way United have been playing, it's a bit iffy. But City as well, like they're struggling street too. They're coming off the back of 2 losses.
And they have a massive game in the Champions League. I think it's second versus third. They drop to third if they lose to Club Brugge. So I think Pep's already come out and said that's more important than the derby at the moment.
And so we'll have to wait and see. But I'm on the United train.
Wow. Campo.
Clip it, use it every week. That's the new intro.
One time only. One time special.
I'm a bit scared for United because you see how crucial Varane is, and he wouldn't go off in a Champions League match if it was nothing. So I'm basing this off Varane is not playing this weekend. So, and you saw last time Varane wasn't there, they got torn apart. Maguire looks clueless without him next to him. I think it will be 3-1 City.
Just a quick scroll there on that. They reckon it is a tight hamstring, so he's racing the clock to be fit.
It will be a tight one, yeah. Tony, I did almost forget, and you probably thought you'd get away with this one, but I need your thoughts on that game at the weekend. The 3-0 win over Spurs. It's a good result, but look, as I said, you missed out on Conte now, so hit us with it. Are you happy? Are you sad? What is it? Because Campo was over the moon.
I mean, if you look at the scheme of things, Ole went into that game and, like I said to you, he did what Conte's going to do when he comes into the squad. He went to that back three. He played against Spurs. He took out Spurs. So, like I've said before, am I Ole out? I'm going to back the manager. Do I think his time's passed? Yes. Do I think he needs to step down? Yes. But again, I don't think, and I think the next manager that comes in for United's got to be a long-term plan. I don't see Conte being, even at Spurs, for more than 2 years. I think once that contract runs out, he's gone. So, do we wait? Is there a Zidane in the talks? Like, obviously, United wouldn't have given him this 3-game ultimatum and not already had something in place for Conte or another manager. Because what happens if we go out? Let's say we lose 10-0 to City. There's no way we keep Ole. They've got to have something in the plans. There's someone else in the plans that they're going after. So, I mean, I'm taking the 3 points. It's put us back in 5th place. And, I mean, Conte can have fun at Tottenham because, 3 months ago, he was an absolute glory of his Nuno. He's won Premier League Manager of the Month. Look how good they're playing. Kane comes back, and there's your real issue. They haven't looked the same since Kane's come back into that squad.
I mean, you make a few good points there. I think Conte, he has a history of falling out with owners and with the board. So does he only last a couple of years? Possibly, yeah. And then maybe he does go straight to United after that. Zidane,
even Conte, he turned it down in January because he couldn't agree with the board. Or last year, he turned down this move to Tottenham. So that just showed you that he's got more control over the board than what the board's got.
True.
That's what I want,
But so Zidane, sorry, he's come out and basically said earlier he doesn't want to manage United.
Yeah,
that could change. It definitely could change. Exactly, money talks. But if not him, who's available? If you were to sack Ole right now and get a new manager, who's available? Horse goals.
I mean, no.
In the shop.
no one's available as of yet, but you don't know what managers are going to do. We've seen managers in the past walk away from their current club when their dream job comes available.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Obviously, the likes of Rodgers has been mentioned. The Ajax coach has been mentioned. Donny's probably praying that's who comes in. He did look good in the Champions League this morning, so hopefully he does get a bit more game time. But yeah, I mean, that they would be my two candidates, Zidane and the Ajax manager, but maybe Rodgers. I don't know if he'll be successful at United, but you know what? While Ole's winning, I'll back him. And like everyone, when your team loses, you're going to snap a little bit and want to kill someone. So
absolutely, mate. Absolutely. Well, speaking of a team that hasn't lost in a while, sorry, this is a good segue. Chelsea have taken on Burnley. I can't look any other way than a comfortable Chelsea win. Yes, Burnley knocked off Brentford quite convincingly, but it's Chelsea. We're best defense in the league right now, in all of Europe, really. I've gone with a 3-0, I think, without Lukaku and Havertz. Like I think Morty and Campo have said, we look probably better. So we're scoring goals. We've got Pulisic back now from injury. Yeah, that's the way I see it. I'd fancy him to get a goal or an assist in this game if he gets a bit of time. So, Campo, which way are you taking this game?
3-0 Chelsea.
Yeah. Morty?
4-0 Chelsea.
Tony, hit us with it.
I'm not going to lie. I've got Chelsea 3-0 written next to me, but I can't go the same as you three boys.
You can.
So, you know what? Just because it's Burnley, just because it's you, I'm going to go 3-1. Let's get Chris Wood on the score sheet. See if you're happy. Let him score early. I want him scoring in the first 5 minutes because I want to see if you're going to celebrate a New Zealand goal or be devastated.
I wouldn't celebrate it against Chelsea, but I'd actually probably panic because Burnley would just set up shop for 85 minutes. That would be a scary scenario. And we haven't really made early goal, so we'll see. But all right, we're moving to Palace, another London-based team who's looking really good, but they're facing a tough test this week. Wolves. I don't know which way to put this one because I haven't been given credit to Wolves, and they've been killing it behind closed doors. Really, Palace I've been giving a lot of credit to, and they have been playing well, but they've not been getting the points where Wolves have been. So I've gone with the Palace 2-1 just because I'm on a bit of that Palace train there. But this is going to be an interesting game, and it could genuinely be the game of the round. That's the way I see it. What do you say? What do you think, Morty, for this one?
I'm on the variable. I like the way they're playing. Obviously they're coming off a high. Wolves are too, but I still think Palace to get it done. Wolves are looking like they're just trying to still find their feet. They're adjusting on the fly. I think Palace have kind of got that down packed a bit. They know what they're doing. They're confident in how they're doing it, and I think they'll get the job done.
You say they're still finding their feet, but they're unbeaten in many games. I think the last game they lost was against United, which was on the 30th of August, so the first month. So are they still finding their feet, or have they figured it out now and they're climbing up the table? Yeah,
but they haven't been getting as many results. There's been a lot of draws, I guess.
They've had one draw. 5 wins, one
really? Is it really that?
Apparently I'm surprised as well, but
I'm still going with it. I'll still hold to it.
You got to back it. All right, Campo.
I've gone a pardon?
Are you on the variable?
No, I am on the draw train.
Draw train.
I think this will be a 2-2 draw. Palace. I think Palace will be leading until late. They tend to switch off. I can see it happening again.
Okay. All right, and Tony.
I've gone 2-1 Wolves. I think Juan has been in brilliant form. Jimenez, he's scoring goals. We gave him credit when they were struggling and looking like they couldn't finish in front of goal. They found their feet. They're getting results. They're in the top half. I just haven't seen Palace put together back-to-back good performances. So I'm just leaning towards Wolves. I think experience gets them across the line with Jimenez.
All right, we're moving to a team that, well, both teams really, but Brentford must win, I think, for this game. They need to snap this 3-game losing streak and get it kind of back on the road. Obviously, Norwich need to snap their 10-game winless run, but can you see it happening away from home? I personally wouldn't be surprised if Norwich actually win this game, just because Brentford are in average form. But I've still gone with Brentford 2-0 just because they're at home. Tony, which way are you saying? Are you going to ever give Norwich a result?
They offer absolutely nothing. They got their goal. Good luck to them. They still offered nothing that whole game. I've gone 4-0 Brentford. Tony
4-0.
double. Tony double.
Okay.
It's happening.
Campo?
I've gone 3-0 Brentford. Same reason. Norwich offered nothing.
Fair enough. Morty, which way are you saying it?
Brentford, pretty much. They'll bounce back. Norwich will offer absolutely dire and nothing. They'll be back.
I've got the boys on my side.
Yeah, but you just know if Norwich somehow win this game, they're getting clipped.
No, I don't care. There's still nothing.
Hey, I'm the one that clips it. It's not getting clipped. I'm safe.
All right, we move into a team where you're speaking about managers a little earlier. Newcastle United, they've almost got their manager sorted. It looks like Unai Emery is apparently coming back to the Premier League. Apparently, Newcastle are happy to offer a big compensation to Villarreal for his services. And yeah, it'd be good evening to the tune for him. Do we think it's going to happen? Is he going there, or is it someone else? Is that Porto bloke going there, or what do you reckon?
I think Emery shows up. He goes there.
Is that a good manager for them?
For them, yes. For him, no. I think it's a bit of a setback for him. We saw with City's takeover, the first manager usually comes in, rustles the feathers a little bit, usually gets sacked, and then you bring in the manager to take you forward. So I think for Newcastle, great signing. For Emery, I think it's a bit of a step down.
Interesting. I mean, he'd be given a massive war chest, so what he does with that would be interesting to see. But like I say, he's built a decent Villarreal team. They won the Europa League against you guys like last season, so he's actually done quite well there. Yeah, no, I had to drop it in there. Yeah, but like he's done well there. So to leave now would be surprising, but at the end of the day, money does talk, and Newcastle have a project in place. That's clear to see. What are your thoughts on the game though? This one here, Brighton versus Newcastle. I've gone with a 0-0 draw. I think you've got to chuck a draw in there somewhere, and it could be the snooze fest of the round, I reckon. That's my opinion. Tony, what do you reckon?
I want Newcastle to get relegated, so I went 1-0 Brighton. I think it's going to be hilarious to be the richest club owner and be in the championship.
Morty did make a good point though on the previous pod that it wouldn't be good for world football having this team in the championship go and sign Haaland and Mbappe, given the financial fair play won't exist for them.
Yeah, but again, you're not gonna he's got money, but you're not going to attract those players. Who's going to want to go play in the championship? Like that's the thing. Maybe if they're going back up, that's an opportunity the last couple of weeks, but the January transfer window's open, so they don't really have a chance to sign them.
It's 1.3, 1.4. Name your price. They will be set up for life.
Morty, I will sit here right now, and if Newcastle go down, I will bet you $500 that they do not attract anyone that's an EPL quality.
Oh, I wouldn't say EPL quality. I'd say world class.
Because if they're going down to the championship, they're not EPL quality.
You're forgetting. But when China came into the mix, they were throwing money around left, right, and centre, and they were stealing EPL quality players.
And who did they sign? Who did they sign? A young kid in Oscar? Hulk, who was aging? Like, name me a massive player.
About Oscar.
Name me a world-class player that China has signed. Realistically.
I think they attracted world-class names, but not world-class players.
But you're also like that was completely irrelevant to the league. You're talking about a team that would be up again the season after to be
Possibly.
Like I'm just saying, like it's not a good thought to have.
Don't forget when Sunderland went down, they had a lot of money and they tried to throw money to come straight back up and end up going straight back down. So it's not the same amount of money.
Throwing money around and then offering like $1 million a week.
They will not get anyone close to that much money. They're not signing anyone big if they go down.
I agree with you, Tony. I don't think they'll attract anybody. I don't think they'll attract world-class players, but they would attract EPL players, regardless of being in the championship, I think. But
who steps down? Do you think someone in the Premier League is going to step down to go back to the championship? If you're in a Premier League team,
when there's a project in place, it can happen.
What project? A relegation?
Well, there's no
guarantee. There's no guarantee they're coming back up. There's no guarantee they're coming back up. There's no guarantee.
Well, what's the point of these owners coming and buying club if they've just not got no project in place?
Well, at the moment, the plans they've said is we're going to build a better facility. We're going to build this. They haven't openly said they're going to give him a massive war chest. They said we're going to get everything else sorted first, like a Man City did when they bought Melbourne City. They built all this stuff. Now we'll start building.
Yeah. Well, I can't give you any names on the top of my head who's going to go there, but I would be surprised to see any.
Maybe Van de Beek. Maybe Van de Beek. Maybe.
They want him apparently, so could happen.
Can't have him.
Why? Are you holding him ransom?
We don't have enough people to sit on the bench at the moment. There's a few injuries, so we need.
All right, well, I need your prediction, Morty and Campo, for this one. Morty, you go first.
Brighton.
All right, Campo, going first. Morty, what's yours?
Wait, what did he say? What was it?
2-1 Brighton.
They're both going Brighton.
I thought he said 10-0 Brighton. I was like, what the heck?
2-0.
Campo wants them relegated, that's for sure.
I'm with you, Campo.
Speaking about your team now, Campo, they're away at Everton. Conte's first Premier League game in charge.
Ooh, baby.
How's he set up? How's this game going? Everton are average right now.
Perfect opposition, in my opinion.
I mean, perfect would be Norwich, let's be real.
Yeah, okay. Fair enough. But, a team that doesn't have their main striker. They have a shit Brazilian that's playing there instead. So, yeah, may as well be. But I reckon we'll get it done 2-1.
2-1. All right. Morty.
Everton bounce back 3-1. Rough start for Tottenham. I think your goal scorer, Son gets on the board.
It's interesting that you're going with Everton here, but
you can tell which team he hates more, though.
Tony, which way are you saying this one? Is Conte, obviously he's Italian, so do you rock with him? Or are you jealous that they got him?
No, honestly, I'm not that jealous at all, if I'm being completely honest. I think next year is the year where Conte really shows how good he can turn Tottenham. I've gone a 2-0 Tottenham lead. Obviously, he's got that conference lead midweek, and we know how he goes in Europe, so he's taken his first loss there. And then he'll move into this, and he'll get his first win as the Tottenham manager.
Yeah, well,
I'm happy for that.
Well, you obviously, Tony, you weren't there for our thoughts surrounding the arrival. We've just spoken about it a bit here, but if you haven't, anybody out there has seen that, go check that out. You get Campo's authentic thoughts on his appointment, and he's a happy man, that's for sure. I've gone with a Spurs 2-0 win as well. I think Conte, as I've said it plenty of times, is a serial winner. He knows what he's doing. He'll set up here perfect. Will it work in the long run? We don't know, but this game, yeah, it'll work. Leeds United coming off a win here, lads, against Norwich. Nothing to be too happy about. But the versus Leicester. Which way is this one going, Tony?
I've gone 3-1 Leicester. Yeah, Leeds came off, but you know what? They weren't as impressive as I thought they were going to look against Norwich. They gave Norwich a sniff, and if you give any other team a sniff like that in the Premier League, you're going to cop goals. Leicester have shown that. I think they get up for the game, Leicester, especially how poor they started last game. I do think Leeds score on the counter-attack, but I'm going to stick with that 3-1 Leicester. And let's give Jamie Vardy a go just because I want to see how he celebrates against the Leeds fans.
Yeah, that'd be an absolute scene, I think, because king of shithousery, and he's at Ellen Road. He's probably going to do something crazy. So I'm going to back you there. Not that he scores, but I've gone with a Leeds 2-1 win, apparently, according to my notes here. Don't remember writing that, but anyway, I've gone Leeds. So go on the boys, I suppose. Get their second win in a row. Morty, which way are you seeing it?
I think this will be closer than we probably look at it, but I think Leicester bounce back. Obviously they've had some time. I think they've got the quality though, and I mean you mark Rafinha out of the game, and Leeds kind of look lost. So I think Leicester get it done, but might be a bit closer. Probably 1-1 until about the 70th minute, and Leicester can do something after that.
Campo?
I think Leicester might actually turn it on this game. They're not versus Ramsdale in goals again, so that always helps. I think it'll be a Leicester 3-0.
3-0, okay. Is that nearing the end for Leeds, like at that point? 3-0 loss at home. What do you think?
The end of what? The end of their Premier League? The end of their manager? What are you asking?
Yeah, probably the manager, even though I personally think he's a fantastic manager. That's somewhere maybe he's not going to go from Leeds to United, but Tony, you'd have Viersla, would you not?
No, I think we've seen the tactics he plays. honestly, he's a better Ole, if you want to say it that way. He's shown that he doesn't have a plan B. Leeds attack, they attack. Oh, we won a game, cool. What are we going to do next week? We're going to attack and hopefully score 5 goals and only concede 4. It's not the way to play in the Premier League. Last year, I think they were on a high. We're back in the Premier League. This year, I think reality's setting in. Do I think they get rid of Bielsa? Probably not. He's done enough to probably warrant to see out the season. But yeah, if they lose this and get done convincingly, worrying times.
Yeah, you agree there, Campo? Do you think it's just going to be a long season for Leeds? They should be safe, but it's just going to be a very long season.
It's going to be a long season. They're going to be in that scrap, second season syndrome.
Which, but if you're a Leeds fan, you hate that because you look at last season, you thought we can build here.
They just have to go heavy in January. They didn't bolster in the summer. They have to bolster in January.
Yeah, spot on. All right, Arsenal versus Watford, boys. Arsenal in some very, very good shape at the minute. Ramsdale, one of the best keepers in the Premier League right now. Watford, it's Ranieri's team, obviously. They've been okay since his arrival, not great. Arsenal should roll them here. I've gone 3-1. Tony, would you agree with that, or do you think it's going to be closer?
Have you got my notes or something sitting next to you? Because I've put down 3-1 Arsenal. And the side points I've got there, I've just got, it's at home. If this was reversed, I'd probably be looking towards a draw or Watford. It's at home. They're playing decent football, and they've got Ramsdale behind them who, like I said, if you haven't seen it, go watch our post-game reaction to the game on the weekend. But I think he's going to be up there for England's number 1 if you're picking the squad today, or at least in the squad. So, yeah, 3-1 Arsenal.
Campo, are you going with Arsenal? I know you'd probably hate to.
No.
But Arsenal. Oh, you can.
No. We'll never tip him. 2-0 Watford.
2-0 Watford. What are you going to go with him or the sensible ones?
Sensible approach here. I think Arsenal continue their form. Yeah. We keep talking up Watford, saying Sarr can do this, but he can't do everything, and I think they're looking. They're going to get better, but yeah, Arsenal probably.
All right, we move into a potential game of the round, the final game of the round. It's your boys Liverpool away at West Ham. This should be an absolute cracker. Which way is it going? You're going to go with Liverpool, but give us your thoughts on your preview.
Well, I mean, they look pretty good. They've been looking good, but if there's one team that can stop them with the pressure they put on is Liverpool. I mean, we talk about Rice not being dispossessed in 900 minutes or whatever, but the bloke also sits further back than Henderson does, and
Henderson.
Actually, they're in the same goals.
No, Rice has got a few this year. Plus, he's scored a year.
But when Rice scores, they win. When Hendo scores, you guys draw. You bottle it in there.
Yeah, we're also second and not. You talk about a team that's above you, mate. Come
second
on.
And not fourth. You're 2 points ahead of them.
You lose this. You
lose, they go above you.
Congrats. They're already above you. Your 2 teams are Chelsea barring that question. But no, we look more comfortable. I think West Ham, they'll probably get a little bit of a reality check here. I think it's probably one of those games Liverpool will come into it knowing they're going to come up against a big team and probably look to go. I'm going to go 3-0 Liverpool.
Are you gonna say the famous line? They can't back up after Europe and win a game.
I was going to say that.
Yeah, I wanted to ask Campo that because we know the only team they did back it up against was Spurs. So Campo, what's your prediction?
I'm trying to do the exact same thing I did last time. All right. They can't back it up after Europe. We've all seen it countless amount of times. They're going to play a full strength team to wrap up the Europa League. So I'm going to go Liverpool 3-0 too.
Okay.
Who can't back it up after Europe though? Because we both got Europe, mate.
No, but I'm hoping that West Ham end up coming out and slapping them up like they did the Spurs.
He's trying to put a jinx.
Yeah.
Tony,
West Ham, mate. Don't worry.
Tony, which way is this going in your eyes?
I've gone BDA 2-2. You can figure out that what it is. I'm not going to say it on air, but 2-2.
Yeah, fair enough. I've actually gone with Liverpool's first loss of the season, 2-1 West Ham. They're in great form, and yes, you can always say they can't back it up after Europe, but they have that European that comp wrapped up for them, their group, basically. They've got a couple games ahead and they're just winning games for fun. So they can probably afford to take a loss there and then focus on the big boys at the weekend. They're at home. Liverpool have to lose sometime. I can't see Liverpool going perfect for the whole season. And this could be the perfect game for them for West Ham to knock them off. That's the way I'll see it. I don't know. My tipping's not great, let's be real. I'm 3 right last week, so I'm not one to go off, but I think West Ham are going to be really up for this game. And
I'll be honest, I had to write down my tips this week because I went back. I got 4 in the week, and I went back and listened to the pod, and I would have got 7 if I listened to what I said on the podcast. So that's why I've written them down this week because I'm going off what I've done.
Well, just because Morty's given so much hate towards Declan Rice, that's why I wasn't
giving him hate. I was just being honest.
But your honesty wasn't exactly correct, saying you was the same.
I'd take him over Henderson any day of the week.
You called him a poor Henderson.
Huh? I didn't call him poor Henderson. Take him.
You pretty much said he sits too deep. He sits deeper than Henderson. So you pretty much said whatever he can do, Henderson can do. He would walk into that squad. He would walk into that Liverpool squad.
You talk about Fabinho? No, Fabinho walks all over him.
Mate, he would walk into that Liverpool squad.
Debatable, because Declan Rice has probably been the best, arguably one of the best players in the Premier League this season, better than Fabinho this season.
I mean, if he still had Genie, I'm not arguing it, but he walks into that squad tomorrow.
Oh, he might be on his way back. He's not having a good time in Paris.
He's not enjoying it. No, well, look, that's all we're going to have time for. This preview. So make sure you check out across the weekend, give all the videos a watch that we've been producing. A couple of good ones there, the post-game and the Conte news. So we'll see you again next week for our Matchday 11 review.
See you later.